Welcome, Aries, God of War. Welcome, Beach. So, intermittent fasting is what we're here to talk about today. And it's important to recognize the role that fasting has played with spirituality in human existence, even if you go as far back in Buddhism as the Buddha, when he was an aesthete, was supposedly existing on a grain of rice a day due to his awakened state. And if you look at the statues and depictions of the Buddha before the ones that we're all familiar with, the fat Buddha who received gifts from everybody who came to visit him, you'll see these emaciated, just wasting figures that represented the Buddha during that time before his enlightenment. And if you look at Islam, if you look at just about any religion, there is some recognition of the spiritual benefits of fasting, doing without, restricting one for the purpose of spiritual growth. So I think for anyone to say, oh, fasting, there's no point in looking at it, you don't need to take it into account, is kind of dismissive of a billion or so people in the world. And the question that comes up, though, is the effect of fasting as a dietary approach to weight loss. And that's a totally different development that's really somewhat recent and dates back primarily to some animal studies that were looking at things like inflammation, and were based on the idea that we all have a diurnal fluctuation in our hormonal makeup that is a result of our evolution here on this planet in a exposure to the light of day. And there were some extrapolations that were based on that that unfortunately were kind of seized by the pseudoscientists as the idea that your weight loss could be more effective if you limit your caloric intake based on what hours of the day it is. And this is where intermittent fasting really kind of took off in the popular press and gained some recognition as having some basis in science, but being promoted in the way that we all see these popular diets promoted. And it became really another fad. And the reality is, if you read the research, what you run across are these key phrases that people use when they produce research, which really doesn't show any dramatic result. And their conclusion is always, oh, well, we just need to do some more research in this area. The reality is, when you look at two different populations, one who are engaging in just energy restriction throughout the day, typical dieting as we might think of it, and ones who engage in energy restriction within a specific time frame. And typically what I hear people say is, after dinner, you don't have anything to eat, you skip breakfast, you wait until noon or 2 p.m, and you do that every day for a period of time. Any weight loss that occurs as a result of that process can be attributed solely to the caloric reduction that comes from not eating during that period of day when you would have normally eaten. And the fact is that sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with the comments. I don't really have any moderators or anything. So anyway, any weight loss that people report at this point with a intermittent fasting approach can really be attributed solely to the reduction in overall total calories throughout the 24-hour period averaged over the period of time. Cheddar broccoli soup, I like it. I don't really make it that much. I generally only have it when I go out to eat. So as far as intermittent fasting goes, I'm not a person who really ascribes to that kind of diet. And it's not because I have strong feelings one way or the other about the scientific basis of it. I just don't like to skip breakfast. It makes me a little bit touchy if I don't get anything to eat. And I'm going to have a cup of coffee in the morning. That is absolutely a given. And drinking coffee without eating anything actually makes my stomach kind of touchy. So my own personal objections to intermittent fasting are not based on the research, but my problem with the research is a lot of it is really based on this idea of trying to limit inflammation. And I have read quite a bit about the background of that. I just don't buy it. Inflammation is a very complex and not easily understood process by which we deal with injury or disease. It is absolutely vital to our existence as beings on the planet. And if stopping inflammation was the key to weight loss, anti-inflammatories like steroids would not make you overweight. So as far as intermittent fasting goes, I'm not a big opponent. I don't think that it's the worst thing you can do. There are certainly some other dietary approaches to which I am much more opposed. But it is not in keeping with the Get Fit and Be Lean program, because you can see in the meals that I post on my profile, I have a whole playlist of meal videos that consists of pictures that I take of almost everything I eat. And you can see that I eat breakfast every day, and I eat breakfast that consists of a wide variety of different foods that includes grapefruit or eggs and bacon, but is most consistently some sort of grain-based oatmeal or cereal with milk and fresh fruit, as well as some fruit juice. And that is my routine breakfast that I eat every day. And I certainly would not give that up in order to pursue intermittent fasting. Now, for my own dietary history, it's actually pretty beneficial to me if I can limit my eating after 7 p.m., because that is not necessarily a time when I'm more likely to gain weight from a given set of calories, but it is a time when I am more likely to indulge in high calorie density foods that I eat without kind of real intention and kind of mindlessly, chocolate and jelly beans and candy and chips and that kind of stuff in front of the television. So for me, that period actually becomes very important in my overall caloric intake throughout a 24-hour period. But I often do say, I don't post a lot of these, what I eat in a day on the Get Fit and Be Lean program, because what I eat in a given day is not really all that important. It hasn't been what results in the weight loss that I've achieved. And the reality is that for me, it's an average of what I eat over a period of time. And to achieve ongoing successful weight loss, I find that it's really not about one day. And if I'm really focused on one day, I might really be successful for that one day. But the problem is, if I don't have a routine, if I don't have an idea of what my general dietary requirements are and what they need to be limited to in order to achieve my goals, then I'm not going to get the kind of benefits that I'm looking for at 6 months and 10 months and a year, because I didn't gain my weight in a day, and I'm not going to lose it in a day or a week. And that's why I've been on TikTok posting these videos. I've been posting my meals. I've been really trying to carry this consistent message that it is about routine. It's about consistency. It is about continuity of a plan. so that I don't get thrown off by one short period of maybe less success, and I don't get completely discouraged if I don't meet my particular goal in a given day or a week. And that allows me to make it a part of an overall program of life. It's really the way that I live rather than something that I'm doing over a period of time. So welcome. I really appreciate everybody joining. Thank you, Cloudy and Beth. Sandwiches, I don't cut my sandwiches, but if I do, I cut them down the middle. Thank you very much for joining the oh man, it's really harder to do this than I expected. Really depends on whether you do a light touch or a hard press. These apps are pretty touchy and difficult to control. I don't actually have anybody that I'm paying to there we go. That works better. So I'm going to continue to post my workouts. I posted one today with a weigh-in. I'm at, I think, 53 pounds, which is pretty exciting. And you can see the graphs and the photographs. I found a couple of good articles this week that I posted on my Twitter account. And I hope everybody will visit that and try to get that boosted. I don't really get much activity on that account. But wow, I was really blown away over the last 10 days, couple of weeks to get over 65,000 TikTok followers. That's really encouraging. It really makes me feel good. And I know most of it came from some silly little joke videos that I posted. Thank you for coming from Poland, Hubie. I really appreciate it. I guess it's very late there. You must be kind of insomniac. But I think that the program that I'm presenting can really be adapted to almost anybody's lifestyle. The workout, the steak and eggs diet, well, that's not a diet, that's a meal. And I like steak and eggs, and I eat steak and I eat eggs. And you can see them both on my meal videos that I post. But no, I think you're talking about the carnivore diet, and that's a bad idea. Don't do that. We are omnivores by nature. We eat plants, we eat animals, we eat fungi, and we should, in my opinion. And I eat what tastes good. That's what I like. So the 18-6 intermittent fasting is another attempt to kind of restrict. It's called time restrictive management of your caloric intake. I don't think it has any intrinsic benefit compared to typical caloric restriction dieting. I think that it's promoted as being some sort of inflammatory modulating adjusted process based on diurnal variations of hormonal fluctuation. I've read the research. I don't really buy that. I think that if that is a form of diet that works for you, there's really some encouraging research out there about rotating your dietary approach. And if you want to do one kind of diet for 3 weeks or 6 weeks and you want to do a different one for another couple of months, there seems to be an indication that people are more able to stick with that. And really, it is consistency in your ability to stick with a process that's going to make a difference. Most, you don't see me coming on here and saying, hey, do you want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks? Because I don't know how to do that. And I'm not interested in doing that. I didn't need to lose 10 pounds when I started this. I still don't need to lose 10 pounds. And so I'm still not trying to do it in 2 weeks. I'm going to do it over, you can follow this process. I started January 1st. It's been a little over 9 months, and I'm very happy with the progress I've made. I expect to continue making progress, and I'm really hoping to carry a message that allows other people to experience that same progress. That's why I focus on the calisthenics. They can be modified for the individual's ability. Thank you. They can be done just about anywhere. They don't cost anything. And so, I'm not making money out of promoting them, but I do believe that I can help introduce some people to a form of exercise they may not have tried. All those militaries can't be wrong. This is a good way for, if you have a general population of people, to kind of get them into a physical fitness regimen, a routine. That's what it's all about, is routine. Day in, day out, same time of day, doing the same thing. Thank you. I wish I was in Hawaii, Meg Z. Never been there. Really want to go. Looking at maybe going once they're not so flipped out about mainlanders coming in. I see some beautiful photographs. I love to dive, so I'd really like to do some diving there with all of the sea life that they have. Welcome, Spiritual. Really appreciate you coming in. I was talking a little bit about the spiritual relationship of fasting with a number of different religions and spiritual approaches. And so I think it's important to recognize that may play a role for some people. And in that case, I think that's great. Wow, all the way from Thailand. Thank you. I think that's a great thing to incorporate, but you need to make sure that you get the appropriate nutrition, and you don't want to do it for an extended time where you're causing some kind of catabolic state and breaking down your muscles and your organs. That's not going to benefit anybody. And I don't think it's necessary to achieve spiritual centering and connection. So I've been doing these lives for a few months now, and really still kind of feeling out the format and trying to understand the software. And exercise I recommend for 330 pounds. I was 70 pounds overweight. I think that you can do adjusted sit-ups, which means lay flat on your back, get your shoulder blades up off the ground. I think that you can probably do a push out. If you can't do a push up, you find a good firm surface, you lean over at a 30 or 40 degree angle, push yourself out from the counter. The main thing is to do them every other day, continue to do them. And then as you increase in your fitness and your vitality, you can adjust the exercises. You'll see that when I started, I could barely do 5 push-ups, and now I'm doing them with my feet up on steps. So take a look at my profile, take a look at my videos that I've posted. I post a workout video with most of my recent weigh-ins. Take a look at my meals. I really focus on 2 servings of raw or steamed vegetables at lunch and 2 servings at dinner. And unfortunately, when I ask people what's a vegetable, when I'm making that recommendation to my patients, they say lettuce, which is a great one. Yeah, lettuce is a vegetable. And then they say tomatoes. In this case, tomatoes are not really the kind of vegetable I'm talking about. I'm talking about leafy green vegetables that grow above the ground. Tomato is a berry. It has a thin skin that surrounds seeds. It's a storage organ for the plant to reproduce. Same thing with carrots. People say carrots. Carrots are a tuber. They grow under the ground. They store starch for the organism. Not the kind of energy producing leafy green vegetable I'm talking about. I'm talking about lettuce, spinach, kale, kohlrabi, fennel, arugula, sprouts. And I was sad when Robin Williams died, but I don't really see what that has with this live stream. And so I do some off the cuff live stream at breakfast, sometimes 7, 8 o'clock, and just try to, connect with my followers. I got a lot of them. So it's really kind of important to me to try to reach them all. But mainly I'm trying to carry no, I don't think so. I'm trying to carry a message of get fit and be lean. And I want to continue to carry that. Thanks for coming to the live. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are getting some information. I hope that you'll check out my videos. The Twitter feed that I do on Get Fit and Be Lean is really, I think, pretty educational. I really try to comb the popular press for good articles that are based on real scientific research, lot of which has been published recently. And so if you want to take more time to read about these kind of things, that's a good source to go to. I try not to run these lives more than about 20 minutes because it just takes, a lot more time to do this than it does to get those posts up. But I'm going to continue to post my workouts. I'm going to continue to host these lives, and I hope to continue to grow the Get Fit and Be Lean program, but shrink myself. So thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. I thank you for all the likes and all the follows and the little gifts and stuff. I'm not really sure what all those mean, but it's nice to get them anyway. And this live will be on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to continue to try and reach out through all kinds of different social media formats as I kind of expand and learn and see what I can do to make a difference. Thank you.